Welcome to the Salty Seekers, where you can hang out with friends and talk about all areas of spirituality and the metaphysical, while knowing you don't have to be pure love and light to do it.
All right, hey, welcome back to the Salty Seekers. I'm here with Veronica and a very special guest, a friend of ours that we've both had encounters with. She has done our Akashic readings in the past and has some new stuff. And her name is Yasmine, and Veronica, and I'm Jay. V, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about this. If you guys are long-term viewers of my channel, you're quite familiar with Yasmine. She did my Akashic Records reading, like Jay said. The video is back there. I'll link to it in the description. But like we put that long video. We actually cut some out and it was still like 2 hours long, if you remember. So she asked if she could come on and talk about love and soulmates and things of that nature. People have been asking you about it. Am I right?
Yeah. All the time.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, hi everyone. If anyone doesn't know me, I'm Yasmine. And yeah, I've been a spiritual coach for years now and Akashic channel, but something that's very much me, like true to my core, is everything to do with soulmate love and like true love, the kind you see in Disney movies or just like in romantic films, the kind of love that conquers all, basically. And I have a lot of clients who are coming to me because they are longing for something like that, and they obviously like want to know how to get to that person, and if there is such a person out there, which is totally not something that I'm going to ever like tell you,
Promise
do
them.
this,
Yeah,
and you will meet your soulmate. But what I can do, what I hope someone would have told me a long time ago, is that there is hope, and if you believe that there is someone out there for you, there is someone out there for you. I believe that if you have a longing for that type of deep soul connection, romantic connection, it is out there, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to miss it.
right.
I know that there are people who are longing for a relationship, and that's different. If you are longing for a relationship, that you might have with someone who is not your soulmate. But if you have like a deep longing for true love, like if you are like, I want to be the Snow White to my Prince Charming type of thing, then there is someone out there for you. And this is also what happened to me, and why I'm very passionate about talking about this is because it took me 15 years to regain that belief after everyone told me that it was like total nonsense, basically.
Right.
Just settle because that's not a real thing. And I did so many different things in my life that I shouldn't have, just because I lost that belief. So that's why I'm kind of like so passionate to talk about this now and talk about this in general altogether, is that I wish so much that no one else needs to, lose all those years just because they don't have that belief.
Right. Well, I want to start by saying that according to my guides, according to Spirit, what they have taught me is that first, you had just said before we started, you said off camera that twin flames don't have to be romantic, but Spirit has taught me that soulmates don't have to be romantic either. You're specifically talking about the soulmates that are romantic.
Yeah, this is about like how you define different words. I know that there are also other types of soulmates, but what I'm talking about is like a romantic. Yeah, specifically. There are also soulmates who can be like your sister, your friend.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Jay's one of my soulmates. My daughter Amelia is one of my soulmates.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is a different type of and I wish I had another word for it, because soulmate is such a vast word that people have different frame of preferences on what it means.
Right.
I just use the word romantic soulmate, but I think there might be another, there should be another word. Hello, future me here. after the chat with Veronica and Jay, I felt like some terms were not clear as a day for anyone watching. So I went back with my spirit guides to get some clarification on the terminology for both myself, but also for anyone who is watching this discussion, so you get where we are coming from. So first of all, very quickly, 4 terms. Soulmate. Soulmate is someone who is a deep soul connection to you. They can be anyone who stumbled to your life that you feel like you can be yourself around, who you feel a deep soul connection with. Partner, child, colleague, cashier at the supermarket, cousin's cousin, whoever. And you can have multiple soulmates in your life. Romantic soulmate is a soulmate who is in this life a romantic connection. Differently from what I'm saying in the video, because I'm using the term romantic soulmate, whereas I should be using another term. So romantic soulmate actually means a soulmate who is in this life a romantic connection, and you can have multiple. What I mean when I say romantic soulmate in this video, what I should be saying is either the one true love, or a sacred partner. All of those terms mean the same thing, and all of those terms mean what I'm describing. Just the term romantic soulmate in this context was wrong. So a sacred partner, your one true love, your true love is a soul who is your perfect match. And that soul will travel with you in different lifetimes. They are always a romantic connection, and they are always your one true love. So you can only have one in very, very rare occasions, 2, but my guides are telling me that it's usually always only 1. And then a twin flame, as we already mentioned in the video, is when a soul splits in 2, and those 2 parts of that same soul travel separately, many times meeting in different lifetimes, until one day they merge back into 1. You can have only 1 twin flame, but that can be sometimes romantic, sometimes not romantic connection, but it's always your twin flame. You can have only 1 sacred partner in very rare occasions too, but no more. You can have multiple soulmates, you can have multiple romantic soulmates, and you might have one or many of these soul connections, or you might have just one of these soul connections. Not everyone has a twin flame, not everyone has a sacred partner or one true love, not everyone has a romantic soulmate, and probably there are also people who don't have soulmates. So whatever you feel in your heart that you are longing, whatever you feel that you have deep in your heart, not like in your human wants, but deep in your heart and in your soul, what you feel you have, that you have. You can't long for something that isn't there, I feel. And that's what I believe as well. So if you are feeling deep in your heart that you have a sacred partner, that you have one true love, then you do. If you have a deep knowing that you have a romantic soulmate or soulmates, then you do. If you have a feeling deep in your heart that you have a twin flame, then you do. So always trust your intuition and take this all with a grain of salt. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And this is just my frame of reference. Thank you, and back to the video.
Yeah. So I think that you're right, because I always say this, like, in relationships past, I'm told, like, you're too much. And I'm like, well, then go find less. And they do. They go find someone who's easy. And this isn't a judgment statement. It just is. Some people are more dynamic. They're more complex. They have brains that are like, they're driven and they have goals. Some people aren't. They're just simple. They just exist day to day and cook dinner, and like, that's good enough for them. Do you know what I'm saying? So they're just like, you're too much. And for a long time, I was so down on myself. Like, I'm too much. I started watering myself down for these tepid people, if you will. And then I said, you know what? If God created me this way, I have to have a counterpart. There's someone out there who's perfect for me, who is fascinated by my mind, who loves to hang out with me.
Oh, I'm getting so much goosebumps already.
And I still believe that. I still believe that someone will smile every day they wake up and I'm next to them and can't wait to talk to me. Like, what more could you ask for? But I believe it's out there, because if I was created this way, I have to have a counterpart.
That's also what happened to me. Like, everyone kept telling me I'm too much. Like,
yeah,
they can't deal with me. I'm too much. Until he did it. Yeah. And I'm still a little much, but it's okay with him, you know?
I asked Jay a couple episodes ago if he thinks I'm too much, and he's like, no, I think you're a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, okay, I'm not going to dig further because I'm not going to hurt my own feelings, but is that a good thing or a bad thing? He's like, no, you're not too much. You're just a lot.
Yeah. But that's also a misconception that people have about romantic soulmates, that when you meet the one, it should all just be like dancing on roses. It's not.
No.
And it's not. It's life. But it's like, no matter what happens, no matter how much you fight or how much you need to, you know, figure out ways to be with each other, it will always work out. Because the love is stronger than anything. Like, when I met my husband over 10 years ago, I didn't know I was a highly sensitive person. I did know I was an empath, but I'm also a very, very sensitive. I'm a highly sensitive person, like to different kind of noises and fabrics and stuff like that. If you know what a highly sensitive person is, you know. And
you're talking to two of them.
Yeah. He had a very hard time like getting me, because I didn't get myself. I didn't know why I was like that. And I hadn't woken up spiritually anyhow back then. So it took quite a while for him to understand me and me to understand me, to kind of navigate through all that turmoil that I was going through with like snapping because I was just too hungry or too hot or something was itching me or, you know, something like that. And it was actually him who once came home and he had a conversation with someone about highly sensitive people, and he had like a light bulb go off his head. And he came home and he was like, we are going to watch a documentary now. And I think I know like what's going on here. And it was such a light bulb moment for me as well. And I think it was part of what brought me to spirituality in the first place. And he was someone who brought me to spirituality, because no one else had ever like allowed me to be weird, you know?
You know, this just occurred to me too, and this is totally off topic for a second, but we've been talking almost every episode about people that navigate to this show, like end up on this show, who started as my coaching in coaching sessions with me. And you're one of them. It just occurred to me. I'm like, I remember her first when she was just waking up and she was trying to find her way. Like
2018 or something. Like it was a long time ago.
I started in 2020. I started coaching in 2020.
Yeah. I took my first Reiki lesson, I think 2018.
Yeah.
And then I opened my crystal shop then. But I was still like, when the pandemic hit, I was still like in my early stages. I was still figuring things out. Right. But then it took off.
It's been so much fun to watch everybody grow, but I just think it's so fascinating, the people that I've met and come across through this journey of mine, and by being willing to open up and do those coaching sessions, I've met the most fascinating people who are still contributing to my life. I mean, that's how I met Jay. That's how I met the lady Ruthie, who was just the show goes live on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. So anyways, just fascinating. I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, I think that's great that that information came to you through your husband. It didn't even occur to you, and you weren't trying to convince him, hey, this is who I am. Like, he came to you and said, I think I found something. I think I understand you.
And it was
And
always about like him trying to understand where I was coming from. I was trying to understand where he was coming from. But what also, sorry to interrupt, but what
you
also
didn't.
is a misconception, what I think people say a lot is that you need to be whole in order to find, the other half. And I don't think
No.
any single one of us is ever whole.
No.
Like,
I think
we
I think the key is to, when you're with the right person, you give each other space and permission to grow.
yes,
You know, people who are like, you've changed. Like, you're supposed to. You're supposed to. I mean, as long as you didn't change into something horribly incompatible. But if you are with the same person 20 years from now that you are today because they haven't grown or changed or learned anything about themselves, then you're doing it wrong. I
yeah,
think a true sign of a soulmate is someone who and it's not even when it's romantic love, it's not always, as you said earlier, it's not always that butterflies in the stomach, like I want to rip your clothes off type of love. It's the I honor you, I respect you, I'm glad you're here. It's like the highest form of friendship and loyalty. And like even when you're frustrated, you're not going anywhere
yeah.
because your love and loyalty for this person is stronger than your desire to be out in the world again looking for someone different, you know. So
And
Jay, what are your thoughts on this, Jay?
I haven't got much on this topic. I'm very fascinated to listen. It's like, oh, they're out there. I would just assume somebody that got me would be adoring of me, excited to see me in the morning was just going to be my dog. So please tell me more.
But I also think that whenever a romantic soulmate comes to your life, it's always like catalyst for something, for some type of growth. And if you're not growing, then it's probably not. Like if someone is trying to keep you put,
Mhm.
I don't think it's the person. And
Yeah.
I've also been asked, like, how do you recognize? I was just having a call with someone who was wondering how to know if someone is the one. Like, is it like instant,
Not
recognition?
always.
Not always. For me, it was. For my
Mhm.
husband, it
For
wasn't.
me, it usually is. I know right
Yeah,
away. I know right
yeah,
away if someone's in my soul family, and I know right away, or at least pretty quick, if they're actually one of my soulmates.
yeah.
May take them a minute to catch up, but I recognize it pretty quick. It feels different.
Yeah, I was just about to say that even if you don't know if someone is your romantic soulmate or soulmate in general, it
Mhm.
feels different.
Mhm.
Somehow it feels different than anyone else. And funny story, I I met my husband through Tinder from all the
Uh-huh.
places in the world. And I know that Tinder, I don't know even if Tinder is a thing anymore. Like 10 years ago,
Mhm.
it was a thing.
I've never been
Uh,
on it, but I know it's a thing.
yeah, but it's also like the most superficial thing ever,
Ugh.
as you guys probably know. But through all my very limited Tinder experience, um, people used to have like pictures, like guys, uh, you know, pumped up and without a shirt and showing themselves off and so on and so on, and every single, yeah, and all the women's pictures were like the perfect makeup and the perfect hair in the perfect setup and stuff like that. And then I was so over Tinder already. I was like in Tinder for one summer after I broke up with someone, and my friend was just like, you need to just like get out there and go
Mhm.
to Tinder. And for one summer I was there and I was almost ready to fold. Like I was like, this is like bull. I'm not
Yeah.
doing this. And I think it was a Sunday night. I was still like scrolling because it's it's kind of like social media. You get addicted. You just scroll. And there was this guy who had paint all over his face. You couldn't see what he looked like, and he had the weirdest face on, like he was like, or something like that. And I was just looking at the eyes, and I was like,
You
that's
were
it.
intrigued. Yeah.
No, I knew. I was
Mm.
like, I know those eyes. I have no idea who this person is. He looks weird, terrible. I can't even make anything of him because he's filled with paint. But I was just like, I know him. That's the person.
I had that experience, but it was with my twin flame. So I know what you're talking about,
Okay.
but I haven't had it that quick with a soulmate though. But yeah, with twin flame, I saw him. I mean, this was back in the MySpace days. It was on MySpace
Okay,
in
similar.
2006. And he had found my blog and he commented. And the instant I saw his picture, it was just like, I got hit by a brick. And I just knew. I knew. And I didn't know what, but I knew something.
Yeah, something was
And-
different. Yeah.
And then for a couple of years, like it was just commenting on my blogs. And then in 2008, 2 years later, we actually spoke on the phone for the first time. And the sound of his voice, like, I can't even describe the physical effect. It like knocked me a couple of dimensions away. Like I just like, and there was just something so different about the energy of that exchange. And yeah, I knew instantly, like this is different. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also because whether it's a twin flame or a romantic soulmate or a soulmate in general, it goes beyond this lifetime. So obviously you have met them. There is something in you that recognizes that energy.
Yeah. Like the first time I met Jay, it was in a coaching session and I had trouble focusing the whole time because I was just like, there's something there. Like, I know this man. Like, and I kept like in my mind, I kept saying, Spomi, is he part of my soul family? Yes. And I'm just like, and I had trouble not staring at him. Did I come off like a creep, Jay?
It's like, hello, did you hear my question?
He's like, eyes up here, bitch. No.
The eyes are up. Because I had
But
my Tinder profile outfit on, so I had my shirt off, and I was like, giving the flex.
I hate that. Isn't that the grossest thing when these guys go on there without their shirts and like all flexy? I'm like, that's so for the male gaze. That's what I think. They think that women want that, but like, no, that's total male gaze.
No. Yeah,
that's for the other guys. Women don't want that.
Exactly.
So, anyways, I digress.
Yeah, and he didn't like recognize me from the picture, but he has said long after that he felt like different. It felt different.
Yeah.
Everything felt different from that point onwards, but it wasn't like all roses. We met that night actually. Like we went for our first date, like I think it was 11:30 to a gas station just to have a Pepsi or something. But then we dated for 2 weeks and I got spooked because I felt like this is it and you better be ready.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not ready.
Well, that's what Spirit keeps telling me. I think I've shared this on a couple other episodes. What is that sound? Can you guys hear that? It's gone now. Never mind. Anyways, Spirit had told me, like, if we send them, are you gonna run?
Yeah, I ran.
Yeah, I think all three of us would be runners.
Yeah,
you ran. I think we would both run. I mean, I'm getting there. I'm getting close.
But you know, my spirit guides have also told me that that was the third time that I was like close to my romantic soulmate, my husband.
Yeah,
we had two times before being like in close proximity where it happened, but it didn't.
Right.
Because either one of us like didn't.
Right.
Go through that door. So but I think also with romantic soulmates especially and soulmates in general, I think if you are meant to meet someone in this life, it will happen. Spirit will like bring
Absolutely.
forward again and again
However,
and again. Until
they do have the free will to jump timelines.
Track star.
He's
Take
a
off
runner.
running.
He's a track star.
I can hurdle those timelines. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't be able to mess it up. You will find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you better give me more credit. I can mess things up. Watch it. I'm not done.
I think sometimes spirit, they approach things with gentle care first, and then it's going to come with a hammer. Like if you
right.
don't,
Right.
like it will be so damn obvious that it's hard to ignore if
Yeah.
you don't get the hint first.
The other thing that I think is that even if you think you're going to run, like majorly run, like when your person comes, it just kind of happens. Like the walls fall down and you quit fighting pretty quick, you know.
We were like, me and my husband, we were friends for 3 months after we dated for 2 weeks. And I was genuinely, how do you say this word? Genuinely, very torn, because part of me was just like, I want the best for him. Like, I absolutely want him to be happy. And part of me was like, this is the man, like, this is the one. And he was asking me help with people he was meeting in Tinder, because we weren't together, like we were supposed to be friends. And he was asking me dating advice because I was just like helpful. And I kept giving him advice with my best possible, capability. But I was to be frank, I was giving him crappy advice. Like I was all of his other dating try-ons just because I wasn't able to give him advice that would just like lead him to be with someone else. And I even, with genuine like interest of his happiness, I was trying to fix him up with my friend, because my friend was also single, and I was just thinking like, I love him, her, they would match well together. And I even set the date up, and then I got so like, I was like, I can't, like, it's one thing if he goes and dates someone I don't know, but if I have to see it.
That's what I told Fred when we broke up, and he was so adamant that we stay friends. And I kept going, why? Why do you want to be my friend? I don't want to be your friend. And he's like, but we've been friends. You're one of my best friends. What do you mean you don't want to be my friend? And I'm like, I want you to go be happy. That's why I have released you. Yeah. But I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I can't see it. If I see you being someone else's man, I might lose my shit internally. And it's not because I want you back, but I don't know. It's complicated. I can't watch it. Go be happy. Go be happy. Yeah. Go fall in love. Leave me out of it.
My husband didn't. So he also didn't start dating my friend, because I told him my friend had found someone. I told my friend that he had found someone. So they never went on a date.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. He waited for me for 3 months for me to get my stuff together.
Yeah.
Terms with it. And then we started dating, and we dated for I think 2 months, and then we moved in together, and we got engaged pretty quick. We were engaged for 3 weeks, then we got married, and
great.
It was like once I surrendered to like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Then it was just
that's that's how it works with any area of life. As soon as you make the decision that like, okay, this is what I'm doing, or this is what I'm ready for, spirit jumps into action. Like it's all coordinated, and it's just ready for you to say, okay, I'm ready. So let's talk a few minutes just to clarify for anybody watching this, the difference between soulmates and twin flames, because that's important. And I think most people out there don't understand the difference. And I know you had said earlier that you aren't too well versed in the twin flame journey. So
I've had clients, but you probably be better off explaining it because you have one. I don't.
Okay. So when a soul evolves to a certain point, it has the opportunity to split into two equal halves, kind of like yin and yang. And then you both go work on the journey separately, but you contract to come in and out of each other's lives like this for the sole purpose of igniting love in each other, not necessarily for each other, but to like show like, wow, that's what love feels like. Okay. And to spark growth, like spiritual growth, and awakening. And one of them is typically designated, I don't remember the term they put to it, but it's basically like the healthier, more grounded spiritual one. And the other one is the runner.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the more complicated runner. Like, yes, 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 no. Yes, 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 no. And so, and feminine and masculine. And so anybody who's like, I can't wait to meet my twin flame because we're going to live happily ever after. No, you're not.
No.
No.
And I don't think even like twin flames necessarily are meant to, if they are
No,
like,
they're not at all.
they are not meant to, stick around.
No, they are not on any level meant to be together in this lifetime. There is a point where you ascend, and then you merge back into one soul. And then, you know what I mean? And can go on that way. But like, you're not going to end up with your twin flame if you force the square peg into the round hole and try to manipulate that into being. You're both going to be really effing miserable, and it's going to come with a lot of heartbreak and trauma. Like, it's just not meant to be. And that's not how it is set up on a divine galactic level. You're not going to be with your twin flame. You might meet up with them, see them in a grocery store. You might have a conversation. It sparks new ideas. It sparks something. It ignites more growth. And then you go away again. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I didn't even know what a twin flame was when I had my experience. It was only afterwards, years afterwards, when I was having a conversation with Spomi, my guide, and I asked, like, what is this? What is this? Like, how's come I haven't seen him in 7 years, and I feel like I could just pick up a conversation and carry on like nothing happened. And he like had such a profound effect on me, like no one else ever did. He's like, because he's your twin flame. And I was like, what does that even mean? And so I went and started searching it, and like all the pieces fit. I'm like, that's exactly what it was. And so that also helped me heal, though, because then I knew, like, oh, he's not a romantic soulmate. He's my twin flame. Therefore, like, don't expect that puzzle piece to fit together.
Do you think there is like a possibility for some twin flames to be together for the rest of their lives?
Like I said, only if they manipulate it.
Okay.
And like, I'm going to get this man, whether he likes it or not. And we're good. But they fight constantly. He's always running and cheating. Or she. It doesn't have to be the he, or vice versa. It is always like you grabbing on with claws and pulling back, going, no, 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 you're not leaving me. And it's always chaotic, dramatic, toxic, unhealthy. Yeah, that's the only way to stay together. So, yeah.
It doesn't sound like
it's no fun.
Yeah.
But just like with the soulmates, if you're meant to have that experience, it's going to happen whether you want it to or not. And like you are destined, you are contracted to meet, have that experience. There will be a distinct before and after. I was this person before I met them. They were here for a week, 3 months, whatever. And then I will never, ever, ever, ever be the same. My eyes have been opened to things. I have this whole growth process happen. That's what kicked off part of my spiritual awakening. Like, if it weren't for him and him saying, you should move to Arizona so we could be closer. And I was like, yes. And I was on a flight like a month later. 2 weeks later, moving to Arizona. He very quickly moved away from Arizona. And I was in Arizona for 7 years, having this massive spiritual awakening, going to Sedona, which changed everything for me. Long story, but anyways, he was responsible for such massive explosion of growth that literally had nothing to do with him because he was gone. But it just is what it is, and it's destiny. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. You can't miss it. But I wouldn't be looking for it because it's not fun. It's meant to literally destroy you and break you down to rebuild you in a different way. So it's no
That's
fucking fun.
Not funny, not funny. But
Yeah.
compared to a romantic soulmate, they're also going to, kind of rebuild you, but without the chaos and trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
it's
there
more
might
in a
be-
supportive way.
Yeah. It's like
Mhm.
there is no one other who is your biggest cheerleader in a way that a romantic soulmate is.
Right.
They are going to lift you up in a way that no one else can.
Yeah.
Like I wrote about soulmates and spirit guides in my newsletter a while back because I was writing about soulmates and then I was supposed to write about spirit guides right after, and I realized that it's very easy to describe them in the same way.
Exactly. And you can
Same-
have more. You can have more than one romantic soulmate also.
Well, in a way that I believe,
Mhm.
in general, if I like, everything is just generalized because there are always exceptions.
Mhm.
But in a way that I believe, there is usually the one, like
Mhm.
one
See,
romantic
that's
soul.
where we disagree, but that's okay.
That's okay. But also, I do know that sometimes it's not the case. But that's in my frame of reference, in my belief system, that's a very rare occasion when that happens. And the one is the one.
I think
But-
they're rare in general. Like your romantic soulmates are not standing on every corner.
No,
You know,
they're
they're rare in general, but I do believe there's more than one for each person from what spirit has taught me. But
Have you had information from SPOMI or other spirit guide of yours? Can there be more than two? Because in my frame of reference, there can be two, but no more.
Spomi, I think you told me this morning that there can be more than two. Am I right? He's saying yes. Now, are you meaning, okay, Spomi, to clarify? Okay, can you move my head like you typically do so that other people can see your answers? Okay. Do you differentiate between soulmate and romantic soulmate? Can you have more than one romantic soulmate in a lifetime? Can you have more than two? Are there several that are the possibilities to have? Is there one main one, like I just described as a potential? Is there one main one that typically plays out as the primary contract? He's going, okay, tell me more. I'm being shown like you could have one that's kind of the love of your life, but they die and you're sent another, and you might love them just as much and have as much of a profound experience with them. Is that what you mean? What else? I said, what else? And I was shown the running emoji, like Jay, like,
That's
oh
so
my
interesting.
gosh. So anyways, thank you,
Yeah,
Spomi.
we are having a little different type of frame of references here, but I do think I know where he is coming from.
Okay.
It's like there's a spiritual concept that's so complex to understand that my guides are always telling me that they can't even like explain it to a human because it's so it's almost like drawing a circle on a paper. To us it looks like two-dimensional, but there's all like it's actually a sphere and it's happening in multiple dimensions, so on. So there's to all of this soulmate stuff and soul contracts and how soul relationships work. There is like a very large concept that I've been shown multiple times, but it's so complex that we are not able to perceive the whole picture. And I think that's why also we are getting a little different type of information.
Possible.
Because so, you know, yeah.
The thing to
But
remember, I think the important thing is it's kind of like, and I'm not downplaying anything, that's not my intention, but I'm thinking like for the average person watching this, like it's tomato. Like what they really need to know is that there are romantic soulmates. Keep
and
hope.
if they feel like they have one, they have one.
Then they have one. You know,
You
like
feel like you have multiple. I think if you, for example, if you've lost your soulmate and you have a deep feeling that you have another, then you have another. But if you have lost your soulmate and you have a deep feeling that that was the only soulmate, romantic soulmate, I mean,
yeah,
then
don't force it. Because
Yeah.
you might be right. Mhm.
I think there are so many possibilities in the world and in the
I
universe.
agree.
It can be anything.
Yes.
It's just like what's my experience, what's your experience, and probably like there
I
are
agree.
multiple different experiences out there.
I fully agree with you that there could be lifetimes and contracts where they do only have one. Some people have none.
Yeah.
I
And
think
I
that
think-
there could be where they have more than one, as we've discussed. I think that it could be all of it. But
Yeah.
I think sometimes that one, like you're talking about, that one, like super special, like, oh, that's my person, shows up and nothing will ever be the same. Like they are your person. And there's nobody that could replace that.
And I'm also only talking about my own experience in that way that I know that for me in life, there's one.
Yeah.
And if I would lose him through any type of tragedy, it's still like I would be so grateful that I got to spend this time with him because there is not going to be another.
That's great.
There could be like another, I don't even, for someone else, let's say, there might be a possibility with a relationship with another person, but it wouldn't be, if you feel like there is not a second one, then there
Right.
won't be a
Right. That doesn't mean you can't find companionship, but they
Yeah.
won't be on that level.
relationship, partnership, but it's not the same.
Right.
So it's probably just like what you feel intuitively, but don't kid yourself. Because I also feel like so many people, they are in a relationship that looks good on paper and they are trying to convince themselves like this is the one because this should be the one because this is like everything looks so right, but it's
You know what else I see? I see lots of people with partners who are frankly pretty shitty. They obviously, to anyone on the outside, don't belong together. But one of them, at least, will have romanticized the notion of, oh, this is my soulmate, so much that they are trying to make this into every good, beautiful, romantic thing. That doesn't change the fact that you have a shitty partner and this really isn't your person. Yeah. Now, Jay, I know you've said many times before that you believe that there are many people out there, kind of like buses. Like if one doesn't work out, like there'll be someone else coming along. Do you still believe that? Like, do you believe in this
As far as
notion?
like companionship, relationships, there are people coming and going, and you can make a go of it with a lot of different people. But the depth of what you discussed, that has not been my experience. And as a closeted, hopeless romantic, the notion sounds amazing. Not my experience up to this point, and I hope many get to have that experience. But we're talking about if you lost your one true one, there are others that will be out there that you could have companionship, partnership, but not to that depth.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my viewpoint on it. I
Yeah.
take everybody as they come. They have their own baggage. They have their own whatever. And, you try to make it work. Maybe one day I will be slapped in the face with this feeling. I don't know. But until then, I stay hopeful, but
Me
I
too.
stay skeptical too.
But it's also what, Veronica, you said earlier that you feel like you are closing in with that
do.
person. For me, it was the same. Like I could feel them coming in. I had no idea when or where, but I remember distinctly I was sitting in my kitchen window. It was like the Bruno Mars song, Talking to the Moon. I don't know if you guys know that. But I was talking to the moon and to the stars. I was just like talking to him. I was like, I know you out there. I'm just talking about my day here, like as you were here. Not about manifesting or anything like that. I don't think you can manifest your soulmate, by the way. But I was just like, I can feel you are closing in, but I want to talk to you now. Like you are taking too long, so I'm just going to talk to you now.
I think you can manifest, but maybe we mean different things.
Yeah, probably. I don't think you can. I don't think you can pick when.
No, I agree with that. I think that what I mean by that is you can manifest as in like do the work that's needed to make yourself ready to receive.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do it in a way that now I'm going to manifest with the new moon and when come the full moon.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. But I can feel that. Well, actually, I have something here in the notes I was gonna read in relation to like being ready. Because if you want to have this long-lasting love, like you said earlier, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be all put together and ready. But if you want to be a good partner, there are things you can do to,
of course,
go to therapy, so that you will be a good partner and not just a shitty human being, So
you're better you off.
I always joke that like I don't know that I'm ready because like I can't imagine anybody else in my house and in my space. And like, I don't want some man's Bud Light neon sign hanging on my wall because it's his space too. Like, fuck that. I want my space to be my space. I don't want stinky shoes and socks in my house, just boy stuff. And, but to me, that was also a signal that I'm just not ready. And that's an excuse I'm using. And that when it happens, it will just flow.
It doesn't matter. Like the socks don't matter.
It doesn't matter when it's right. And like when it shows up and it's right, it just happens. And I know that. It's just words I'm using. But anyways, I saw this lady on TikTok a week or so ago. And her name is Jackie Faber, Faber, if anybody wants to go find her. But she's a coach, and she was talking about how you can tell when you're nearing readiness to get back into a relationship, or at least to start looking to like open your heart to it, by how you feel and talk about sovereignty. And she said, because usually after you've been through some kind of a breakup or a trauma, there's two phases of sovereignty that she sees people go through. So I'm going to read this so that I don't mess up her words, but it's really good. It's a little bit long, but it's worth it. She says, sovereignty is good, but usually the step before peaceful, healthy sovereignty comes protective sovereignty, which is based out of hurt or trauma of some kind. It's the stage where you have reactive sovereignty, like, quote, no one will ever take my power again, or I'm going to protect myself. I'm my own person. Nobody's getting that close. You're clinging to your newfound power that you have of being on your own and in your own space and responsible for yourself. But if you're doing it right, that eventually evolves into, I'm willing to let someone in my space because I know that I'm responsible for my happiness anyways. No one else is. The sovereignty no longer has a charge to it, because it doesn't have to be proven. It simply is. You are safe in your sovereignty, and you don't have to be afraid that someone will take it away from you, because you know that no one can ever take it away. The first stage is absolutely necessary. But if you want to heal and be healthy, you can't stay there. It's in the second stage where you don't have to fall in love or create love, because you just know that you are love. And you don't have to scan other people for safety or how they may or may not hurt you. You just know whether you resonate with something or not, or someone or not. You just innately know if you feel safe with someone, and you don't always have to walk on eggshells wondering if the other shoe's going to drop. You're constantly braced for loss in the first stage, because in the second stage, you're just safe in your own skin and in your own sovereignty. And that's the difference between I will never be taken again and I cannot be taken because I'm my own person and I'll be safe no matter what I do or no matter what you do. One is based in self-protection, the other is based in personal power. And it's in that second phase where the softness returns. There's peace. There's no longer something you do, but it's just something you are. And I think it's in that second stage. When I say I think I'm nearing readiness, because I can see myself starting to soften.
Mhm.
I'm no longer in that nobody's coming near me, or nobody's ever going to hurt me like that again. And I'm starting to soften in a little way, several little ways. The other thing that I noticed, one of the ways, is I saw a therapist say, I can always tell when my clients are healing because she'll start wearing pink again. And it's ironic that I'm wearing pink today. But like for years, my wardrobe has just essentially been neutrals, blacks, grays, beiges, browns. And I had gotten rid of everything with color because I'm just like, that's just not me anymore. But pink's my favorite color. And I've noticed recently, like I'm obsessed with it. I bought pink pajamas and a pink t-shirt, and I have a pink blouse. And that usually means that you're healing and you're softening. And I think that that's what I mean by manifesting, is that when you start to soften, your energy is now prepared for them to usher in things that
Yeah.
are ready for you.
But that's also different what I meant. I meant like you are trying to draw someone, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
pull them.
Right. And
you
that's
can
why I
do.
said I agree with you. You can't
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
but you can ready yourself.
Yeah, you can prepare yourself in a way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can become more you. You can become more you. And when you are more you, when you are more true to you, who you are
Exactly.
and yourself, then you are also way more equipped to tell the other person, like, this is me, this is how I work, this is how I
Mhm.
think, and not necessarily go through the whole, like, I'm highly sensitive, but I don't know it type of journey that I
Right.
had.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe it was divinely orchestrated that way so that your husband could learn.
Mhm.
Because if you had just walked into that saying, I'm a highly sensitive person and this is how you have to treat me, I mean, not like that, but you know what I mean? He would have been like, what does that even mean? Is she kind of crazy? But for him walking that path with you and seeing how you are, and then him being shown, oh, that matches her. And he came to it on his own, and then you guys kind of found that together. Does it make sense what I'm saying? I'm not being very articulate, but I think you know what I'm saying. It might have helped him to accept you more and to learn.
And also through all of my spiritual awakening, he didn't awaken when I did. He awakened like 2 years after or something. But
Mm-hmm.
he was watching me go through it, and he was never skeptic. He was always open. He was just like, that's not where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I highly support you at where you are at. And
Mm-hmm.
that's also what I mean, like romantic soulmates and soulmates in general, they are like spirit guides. They support you through thick and thin,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
no matter like where they are at.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, they just want to be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
And most of the time that I've noticed, also, if you have like a romantic soulmate who is the one, as I keep saying, they tend to also be in your spirit team. So they are both with you in spirit and in physical.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was going to say that aside from the romance part of it, like that holds true for most of your soulmates too. Like they're your cheerleaders. They're here to help walk through some things with you, to learn from each other. And some of your spirit guides that are your guides currently, they typically are some of your soulmates. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's also like a double whammy then, because they are, they kind of know intuitively what they're doing in spirit, even though they might not be awakened yet or like on that level. But it's so funny because many times when I talk to my spirit guides, and especially this one guide who is my husband in another life, he's telling me something in spirit. I go home and my husband is saying it the same thing in the same words to me in physical without me like that. I'm like, you just told me.
Mm-hmm.
I just was in meditation. You just told me, and now you're telling me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
you're telepathic like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Jay, anything to add?
Well, it's all intriguing. I'm taking notes over here. Got my book out and everything. I hope to have these experiences too. Sounds wonderful.
Me too. Someday. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys will. If you're longing for it, then it will come.
I do. I think I do. I'm in this moment, I'm like, maybe not. But that's because I'm not fully healed yet.
And that might also be your protective mechanism,
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Yeah. But somewhere deeper than that, on a soul level, like I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
And it's also freaking scary, like when it happens.
It's terrifying.
It's someone that you can't hide from. Like they are going to see who you are.
I always joke that Spomi's going to have to show them up right on my door. Like that he's going to have to land them right on my doorstep because I'll run. Yeah. Like I need to not see them coming.
And also when I met my husband, he always from the start, he was telling me that I'm like an onion. Like he keeps peeling layers off until he gets to the real part. And I feel like now after 10 years of dealing with all the crap that was like on top of everything, now I'm starting to be me.
Yeah, like that's great.
So, like who is the real me? Because I was so conditioned and taught to be something, and I had a career where you should be something and you needed to act in a certain way, and I had friends who were also not like supportive of who I was, and I had been with people who told me that I was too much and I had been diminishing myself and stuff like that. So
I remember
open in a good way.
Right. I remember one time my twin flame, we were having a conversation and I was just talking as I'm prone to do. And I said something about, look, I'm just a simple girl who's out here trying to like blah, blah, blah. And he goes,
yeah, no.
He goes, there is nothing simple about you. If you were a simple girl, I would not look twice. He goes, I'm going to spend 50 more lifetimes just trying to study your brain. You fascinate me. And like, you're so complex. And he goes, I'm fascinated by the complexity that is you. Mm-hmm. I could study you for the rest of my life. He goes, don't ever say you're a simple girl. Don't ever let anyone ever fucking tell you you're a simple girl. Yeah. You're you. And that is like dynamic. And that's fucking amazing. That's the first time I'd ever heard someone speak to me like that. And even though he's not here anymore and will never be, but his words and the effect that had on me, that was like the spark that started allowing me, giving myself permission to be myself and to peel those onion layers back. And it was important. So
it's like I was always told by everyone that I was a little crazy or a lot crazy. And my husband came along and he was like, you're crazy, but it's like, I love it. Like,
Yeah,
be crazy.
exactly.
That's the most awesome part about you.
Yeah.
And everyone else was like, you are crazy. Stop being like that. Just like act like a normal person for once.
Right. Yeah. Like my parents would always say, particularly my mom, she would always say, or I'd be like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like if we were told we were going to do something or we were moving or something, and I'm like, I have opinions on this. And she's like, you have no opinions until you are 18 and out of my house. While you're here, you have no words. You have no thing that you are allowed to say. You have zero opinions or place to have an opinion. You need to just be easier and stop making so much trouble, that kind of thing. And I'm just like, and that was ingrained to me. Like, and in church, we talked about this on the last episode, like people didn't want their kids to hang out with me because I had opinions. And like if they'd say girls shouldn't wear pants, and I'd be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That makes no sense. And or if someone acted homophobically, I would be livid and just, I would defend people. So anyways, I was always told, you're too loud. You have too many opinions. You need to just pipe down and be more meek and mild. But that's not how I'm created.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't divinely created to be that. That has its place, and there are people that are, but like that wasn't me. I'm meant to be a world changer.
And then the world.
And you too.
Yeah. And then there is someone who loves the world changer in you.
Right.
Who's like, that's the best part.
Right.
Be that. Do that.
I made a video several years ago about the tapestry that I was shown in meditation one time. And like it was this beautiful tapestry, and it had this beautiful golden thread, which was you. And every single person that you ever came in contact with was a thread in your tapestry. And it was meant for you to be yourself and just made this beautiful, straight, golden line. But if there was ever a point where you bent yourself, is what Spirit said, when you bent yourself to like conform to this, or I want to be more like her, or I like the way people react to her, so I'm going to be like her, or I want to lose weight like her. They don't accept me how I am, so I'm going to water myself down and like play dumb. Like, is that the way it works? I would never know. You're so smart. Like you water yourself down for these people who can't handle the fullness of you. It causes a kink in your golden thread. And then it skews the experience that these people are supposed to have of you in this life. Instead of experiencing you like this, they experience you warped, and it causes a big like knot in the quilt. It has this ripple effect that goes out. So the most important thing is to just come and be yourself, to just be so authentic, and you're not going to be for everybody. And that's okay.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
My only job is to show up and be authentic. And those who are supposed to stay and align with me, they do.
Yeah.
And people who don't, go away.
More you are not being yourself. I do a lot of work with alignment also in the Akashic records. And
yeah,
I find that many people we are never like fully aligned to our highest path. That's for maybe the girls in Himalayas or something. But the closer we get, the better, obviously. But most of people who are like more deviated from their highest time, from their soul alignment, it's because they've put themselves in situations where they wouldn't truly be, or they've acted as someone else who they are truly not, and there's an inner conflict.
Yeah,
always there, like you are acting, and then inside that that's not who I am.
That's not really you.
It also makes you do wrong decisions for someone else, or act in a certain way in a certain situation where there would have been an opportunity for you, but because you were trying to act to be like someone else, you won't see the opportunity, and then you start to go off your highest timeline.
Yeah.
And then it's like a lot of work. The more you go off, the more work you need to do to get back into alignment. So the best advice I think anyone could ever have is just be you.
Yeah.
And you in like that's not a mistake. You are
No.
not a mistake. You are like you because you as you are needed here. Just as you are.
Yeah.
Oh. Virtual hug. Oh, Veronica, are you okay? I didn't mean to make you cry, sorry.
You didn't. It just, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. Yeah.
And I think also what people need to understand is that not everyone is going to like you.
Yeah.
Like that's just, you can't be for everyone.
No.
But you can be so much for the right people.
The big question is, do you even like them anyways?
Yeah.
You probably don't like them either.
Yeah.
Like you can be cordial to one another, but if you're just like, why don't they like me? Why don't they want to be my best friend? Like ask yourself, do you really want to be their friend? They
like,
probably
is there something, or is it just, just to have a friend?
Right. I mean, if you're not resonating with them, that means they probably don't resonate with you either. And that's okay. It's okay.
And especially if you're both trying to, fit in a box to resonate with one another, then you're both going off your timeline.
Yeah.
Your high.
The other thing I wanted to say was that, like, if you do have your person who will be coming to find you and you have skewed yourself, you're trying to be someone that you're really not, how are they going to recognize you?
Yeah.
You have to be yourself. So
you need to be very intuitive to know, like, somewhere in there, like, in all of that.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good.
I always remember one of my bosses, like, I'm the most empathic, sensitive person I know. Bless you. But I was working in a corporate environment, and I was an assistant for someone, and I had a conversation, like I don't know what's it called in English, but when you have like a conversation with your boss once a year, like where are you
a yearly evaluation. Yeah,
something like that. And then he was like, everything is going fine, but you could be a little more, you are very cold. And I was like, what? Like, you are very, like, you don't seem like you're very sensitive. I was like, I'm the fucking most sensitive person.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
I was trying to be, I had been grown up to be like, if you're tough, if you're independent, if you don't wear red nail polish, you are going to make it in the world. I was really like under the assumption that I need to be very tough. I need to hide everything that I'm actually truly inside, because otherwise I won't be making it.
What's your sign?
I'm Cancer.
Makes total sense, because I was like, I feel so much Cancer in you. Oh my God, I nailed it. But because I was thinking, like, people say that about Capricorns. I'm Capricorn. And I'm like, Capricorns, they try very hard to hold it together and to look professional, whatever, but they're the sister sign to Cancer. You can't,
by the way,
you can't be one of these two signs who are known for feeling without feeling as deep as the ocean. Like, there are so many feels. You're so sensitive. You're so feeling. So yeah, I get that.
It was like, it was a wake-up call for me as well. Like, what am I making myself to be?
Yeah.
Fit in this world? That doesn't make it. Didn't take me that long to quit the job there, but still.
Out of
I always kept wondering, like, if I had been who I was, if I had believed what I believed when I was young, my life would have been very different. If I had just had the courage to be who I was and believe what I
And I still don't know that I have the courage to fully be. I mean, I'm myself, good, bad, or ugly. I'm myself. But as far as taking chances and stuff like that, I just had a reading a couple of days ago with someone. And the lady that we just did the other episode with, she said, one of the ladies in my group is practicing channeling and she's looking for people to practice on. Would you be willing? And I'm like, sign me up. I'm always willing to be guinea pigs for people who are practicing their growth. So she gave me this reading and she was good. But one of the things she said was, she goes, I just feel like this is you. Like, she goes, but like inside, I feel like there's so much more that wants to come up and out. Like you are presenting at work as like this, and like, but you are really like, and I'm like, well, I mean, that kind of tracks. But she goes, you're meant to do. She goes, have you thought about doing other things? And I'm like, yeah, so many other things. And she's like what? And I'm like, all the things. And she's like books. I'm like books and planners. She's like, I see books and retreats and lectures and like, and I was like, yes, all the things. And she goes, what's stopping you? And I was like, myself and fear. And like, where do I even start? What do I even write about? Like, I have stuff I could write about, but like, from what angle? What do I include? What do I say? And then I go into this imposter syndrome. And she goes, first of all, I'm going to say, you said you don't know what to write about? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, I'm being told by spirit, that's not true. She goes, and it's not malevolent, but they're just like, yes, you do. And I thought, I'm like, no, I don't. And she's like, they're going, yes, you do. You were just given the information. And like, quick light bulb moment. I remembered 2 days before I had done some automatic writing that I had forgotten all about. And they gave me a whole on like how I'm supposed to be writing on the divine feminine and from this angle and from doing this and like 10 different book ideas. And they're like, your job is to write several smaller books versus one big book. But anyways, and they're just like, get to work, have the courage. You've got this, be yourself and go do it. And internally, I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. What if people don't like me? What if I have nothing to say? But we're our own worst enemies.
I'm also on the same kind of path to write a book.
Really? Oh, to write a book. I thought you were going to say on the same path of not doing it. And I'm like, I see you as one of the most courageous.
I am, because I'm like, I know I need to do it. I'm being told I need to do it. My husband is like telling me that I need to do it. And somehow I can't do it. Like I'm right. I know what to do. I even have I have an outline for the book. I have everything ready, but I just can't put my fingers on the freaking I can't. I just told my husband now I just realized what I just told my husband today. Like, do you ever feel like you are your 15-year-old self just trying to, fake it till you make it?
I think we always are.
That's what I feel like. I feel like, who am I to write a book about? But
say, this is funny because this is what people say to me all the time. They're like, I see you as so courageous, blah, blah, blah. But that's how I feel about you right now. I'm like, I see you as so courageous and not afraid to try new things and not afraid to follow whatever path they're on. And like, you did the Akashic Records and then you did something else and you are bringing women together. And now you're talking about soulmates. And I'm just like, she's so brave. She's so courageous. She's so authentically doing what she feels drawn to. I admire that. And people say that about me. And I'm like, but if only you saw inside, because I'm just like, I'm a duck on the water, but I'm like,
you are doing all the things. And I'm very much admiring what you do. And I would never have thought that you are also struggling with the same stuff. But it's
it's the human condition.
It's real. It's so freaking real. And it's also, I feel like when you are tapping into your purpose, it's scary. Because
it is.
I think people think it's frustrating and scary to look for your purpose, but when you find your purpose,
It's even scarier.
it's way
People,
scarier.
you know what? I think, and I fully believe this, that people are way more afraid of success than they are of failure.
Yeah.
They're not really even afraid of failing as much as like, what if it works out? What do I do then? Then I'm responsible for this information, and like, I'm going to have to like do more. And like, I don't know
Where
if
am
I
I
can do
going
it.
to go? Oh, everything is going to change. My life is going to change. And then you get to the point like, okay, when I've done all of this and I'm I'm like known or whatever, or I'm successful or whatever, what if someone outs me? Like I was
Yeah.
always faking it, you know?
That's
Even
how I
though
feel
you've
too.
done all the things and you are not faking it, but still somehow you feel like
It's a solar plexus
find
thing.
out that I'm just like this
I'm just
15-year.
like everyone else. See, typically most people see that. They're shocked by that when I say that too. But well, first of all, because very few people get to see that side of me. I have like 1, 2, 3 friends maybe that get to see that side of me. He's one of them. But because I started this podcast having conversations with him where I feel safe with him and I just let it all spill out, more people are seeing that side of me that they never saw on like my normal videos where I'm much more polished and put together most of the time. So more people are seeing that. But yeah, I used to get that all the time, that like, really, you? Yeah.
That's also why I love to watch what my husband is doing, because he's so inspiring to me. I feel like he feels I'm inspiring to him.
That's
but
great.
He
That's perfect.
so raw to me. Like he's so courageous to be raw in front of so many people, in front of like the internet and all the things, that I'm like, if he can do it, maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
You know? And I think he
I
thinks
love
the
that.
same way about me. But I don't feel the same way about me. So then I'm trying to ride with his belief about me and hope
Well,
it carries till I believe that about myself.
I think this goes back to what I was saying about Colin, my twin flame. I think that when Colin said those words to me of like, you're so complex, you should be yourself, blah, blah, blah. Like, whenever I would forget that about myself or struggle with myself, I would go back to basically use him like a mirror, or like use his words, feed off of his view of me versus my view of me. So I
It's
think
kind
that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to see yourself in someone else's eyes when that someone else is, because sometimes we have so many beliefs and conditionings about ourselves,
Yeah.
because it comes from so far. And sometimes the other person sees you in a more truthful way if they're so close to you, if they kind of like feel who you truly are.
You know, I always, like when my kids were little, if I knew that they were within earshot of me and I was talking to someone else, I would purposely talk about them like they weren't there in a good way so that they could overhear it, because I wanted them to always know that, like, wow, she's not faking it. Like, she really thinks I'm amazing, or my mom really loves me. Listen how she talks about me. My pastor used to say, when I was still in the church, he'd say, always let your kids catch you praying about them. And because that'll stick with them for the rest of their life. Like, don't let them know that you know they're there. But if you know they're there, start praying out loud and be like, thank you for the gift of my daughter. She's so amazing. I couldn't have asked for a smarter and more kind, more compassionate person. You really made a masterpiece with her. That's going to stick with them. And so always let your kids catch you talking about them in a good way, because it goes back to what we're talking about. It goes back to sometimes you need to see yourself through someone else's eyes in order to realize how special you are.
But I just had an idea. Since
What's
you are
that?
trying to write a book, I'm trying to write a book. I'm going to now announce that I'm going to be your accountability partner. I'm going to check up on you.
You got a job ahead of you, girl.
Like, you need to check up on me and I need to check up on you. So we both start. at least we need to start.
Okay.
You know,
All
let's do
right.
something.
Okay.
No one else reads it, never. Let's just start.
Whew. Okay. Well,
Okay.
you know, as I was having this reading, the girl who facilitated it and got us both together was there during the thing too. And she had popped in and she's like, why do you think you have nothing to write about? And like, the things that they're saying that they want you to write about, like you talk about that stuff all the time. And like, she goes, you talk about this and this and this and this. And I was like, yeah. And then, you know, I had this dream about this and I had this conversation with my ancestors about that. And she goes, everything you just said is a chapter. What do you mean you don't have anything to talk about? She goes, that was a chapter right there. That what you just said. And I'm like, okay. I
You
have
don't have
trouble organizing it.
First, Euro.
Huh?
Just
What?
start writing. You don't have to make it perfect right away.
No, I know. I know.
But I think I'm in that trap that if I start writing, I feel like if it's meant to be, it should just come out of me perfect.
Yeah. And that's not always the
That's
case.
big. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, just human. It can be crap for
Mhm.
the first 5
Yeah.
times.
I was surprised by what they told me to write, honestly. Like, and that's how I knew the automatic writing was legit and it wasn't me, because I was surprised by what they were saying. I was like, really?
I
Yeah.
felt like I needed to hear that as well.
Good.
Because I feel
I'm glad I
that's
shared it.
Have you ever read a book? I keep forgetting the name of the author, but it's called Awakening Shakti.
Mm-mm. I've never heard of it.
I tend not to read a lot of Hinduism books because that's not the culture that's very familiar to me. But I did stumble across that, and it was amazing for the creative and feminine flow. And it was not like many other like divine feminine books that I read. It really like made a very big
I'm gonna have to
impact
look
on.
into it. Yeah,
It was very
thank
good
you.
as well. So you might want
That's
to.
great.
And it
Yeah.
also, you can just take parts of it that are about creativity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I had written a book. I didn't. Well, it was a joint venture. Back in 2008, I was driving in a snowstorm and I was just given a book. I was downloaded a book within like 5 minutes. Like, and so I'm trying to navigate this blizzard going 5 miles an hour. And in my mind, I'm just like settings and how did they dress and like what did they say? Like I had plot lines and everything. And then I went home and there's this thing called NaNoWriMo. It's like National Novel Writing Month. It's in November every year. And you write as much as you can in 30 days and see if you can pound out a whole novel in 30 days. So I just sat down with all that information I was given and I did it. I wrote a whole rough draft of this novel and then I never did anything with it. It's still on my computer. And I tried to go back a few times and finish it, but it was gone. It was just gone. And then I had read this book by Elizabeth Gilbert called Big Magic. Have you read it? Yeah. So in Big Magic, how she talks about if you don't honor the muse, like it's taken
Actually,
away from you and given to someone else.
I'm lying. I think I have it, but have I read it? I'm not sure. I may not have read
If you
it, but
can't remember, then you need to read it again. It's an
I
easy,
do have it.
it's an easy, quick read. I probably recommended it to you at some point. I recommend it to everybody who's even a little bit creative. But in that, she talks about how if you don't honor the contract, she doesn't call it a contract, but if you don't honor what the muse gives you, she talks about the muse as if it's an actual entity, like a spirit guide, it's an actual being. And if you don't honor what the muse gives you, the muse takes it back and it gives it to someone else who will actually carry it to fruition and put it out into the universe. And she's like, that's why you see like these lawsuits about I wrote this song and never published it, but they stole my song. Listen to how similar it is. They were probably just given it because you didn't finish it, type of thing. So anyways, I still have the rough draft, but it's gone now. It's not mine to finish anymore. I've tried so many times and like it's just not there. So I think it was taken back from me. And the same with my writing. I used to write every single day and I could feel it coming. I could feel the muse barreling at me like a steam train, just, and then she'd hit me and like all these words would come and I would just go home from work and sit at my computer for like an hour and just, I wrote these long, profound, heartfelt blogs every single day. And I keep trying to get back to that. It's gone. I think because I gave up on the muse and I keep saying, please come back. I'm ready now. But yeah, so maybe I just have to start sitting down every single day. It's just like meditation. When I say it's not your job to judge it, your only job is to show up and put your butt in the seat and let your soul do the rest. Maybe I just need to do that. Maybe I just need to start showing up at the keyboard every day and being willing to write. And eventually she'll meet me there.
I've spent so many months and even years of trying to figure out what to write. Like I've had the feeling that I need to write from when I was 8 or 10 or I don't know, 7. But I'm just like, I don't know what to write. Everything is written already. And then one day I was talking to my spirit guides and it came to me. I was like, how can I not have been like, how did I not see this before? I started like bawling because it was so there and it has always been there.
That's great.
But
my problem is I can think of
too like difficult and too complex. And I think I thought that this and this and this aspects and this and this and this subject is now like what people want to read. So maybe I should just we write what you feel. And I feel like if you write what you feel is true to you, there is someone who is going to want to read it.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there on this timeline, on this lifetime, after 300 years, I don't know, somewhere someone is going to want to read what you are writing.
My stumbling block has been like, from what angle do I come at it from? I have so much to write on a personal level, on a spiritual level. And it's like, just for example, if I write my memoirs, what direction do I come at it from? Do I come at it from, look at all the things I've endured, look at all the experiences I've had, or do I simply come at it from a spiritual aspect and like sprinkle in little experiences? I don't know. Do I go for people who are more self-help? Do I angle it towards an audience who's just about spiritual awakening? I don't know. So that's always been my stumbling block, because then I think about it too much and I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to just put it down. And I walk away from it. So, hey, if there's any book coaches, writing coaches, anybody out there who would like to do a series with me on getting over these blocks and like helping me figure it out, like I'll give you free publicity, or like maybe you could just help me. Maybe you could just help me, but like we could do a series and getting me over those humps. So anyways,
I'm in the same train that the people who told you about that, because I feel like you have so much to give and you have so, in a good way, so many opinions. But I really think you could do amazing. You just need to get over yourself.
Thank you. You helped me with a lot of this too, with my Akashic Records reading, and a lot of the things, because we can be so hard on ourselves. And 2 times spiritually really helped me. One, when I was talking to Spomi when I first met him, and then 2 with your Akashic Records reading, because things that I look at myself and I judge myself for, I'm told that's really how you're divinely made. Or when I start getting imposter syndrome and think, who am I to want to write a book? Who am I? And then you go, no, I don't remember the exact verbiage, but you're supposed to work with Archangel Gabriel, and like you are meant to work with words. You are meant to,
Yeah.
yeah, you're supposed to do all of this stuff. And like, this is what I see for you. And yes, your main gift is clairsentience. And I'm like, I'm not crazy. And so yeah, it's good to be validated because then it gives you courage to move forward. Yeah.
Maybe
So
you
thank
just
you
need
for that.
to start from somewhere, and
Hmm?
don't judge the way or the where you're coming into the subject. Try something,
Yeah.
then try something else, and then try
Yes.
something else. And
Right.
just write. Like my husband is always saying, like, can you just please like write something? Just start writing.
I've
Because
started journaling a few days ago again. I always come back and forth with it, but Spomi's wanting me to bring this up to share with people who might need it. I've always been someone, because of certain traumas that I've had with journaling, I don't like to put things down in writing. I don't want proof. You know what I mean? Even if it's nothing to be worried about. I had an abusive ex-husband who would turn anything into something bad. Like, oh, you went to the grocery store today? I bet you were meeting a man there, weren't you? You know what I mean? It was just never put anything in writing. So I saw this lady the other day on YouTube. She's a journaling expert. And she said for people who have that issue of like, they just have a thing like putting it down in writing, she said, I want you to change your perspective. And I want you to, instead of filling up a journal being the goal, using up a journal needs to be the goal. You write one page, you rip it out and destroy it. You
that's
write
great.
another page, you rip it out and you destroy it. You either rip it up or you burn it. And so at the end, the journal is empty. And that needs to be where you start because that builds your courage of being able to get it out and to get these things down without the fear of someone using it in some kind of malevolent way against you. So I thought that was really great.
Jay's just sitting there like,
He's
where did
he's
it
just like, la
go?
la la.
This whole
Somehow
episode
we
is
ended up.
very enlightening for me, listening to you, and
Is it?
it resonates. A lot of the things resonate as I'm listening. It also is like I just literally had this thought. It's like, wow, I have a lot of shadow work later because this whole episode for me has been imposter syndrome. It's like these women are very talented, very knowing. They're even though they have challenges, they have a path. They know what to do, and I'm over here going, man, I don't know shit. What am I doing here? And so I'm sitting here listening, and I'm resonating with your struggles, and I'm proud to hear that you kind of have an idea of where you're growing. And I'm over here sending my energy like, you can do it. I think you can do this. And so I know it's definitely it's enlightening for me this whole episode. So I'm over here just absorbing, going, boy, I got some work to do over here.
That's
But
good.
like for a few months ago, I was totally like, I had been struggling for 2 years to figure out what am I supposed to do
Yeah,
here? Like, why am I
same.
here? Like I was going here and then there, and I thought that this was my path and this was my path, and everything was supposed to be on that path
Yeah.
because this led to here and this led to here, and but I was like, oh, I'm not getting it. Like this is taking so long. I'm so frustrated. Nothing is making sense. Nothing is like. And then one day I was sitting in my car, I was driving somewhere, and it just hit me. And it was totally out of the blue, and it made total sense. I immediately called my husband. I was like, I know what my purpose is.
That's great.
Just like that. After like years and years and years of trying to figure it out, and especially like for the past 2 years after our children were born, I have been so like in a haze of trying to figure. I was like, everyone else has a purpose. Where the heck is my purpose?
Yeah,
And
and
then
it's still coming. Yeah, and
yeah,
that's how it happens. It just kind of shows up. But I think this is an important thing too, is that two things. One, just because you try something doesn't mean you have to be married to it forever. Never, ever, ever be afraid to change direction. You don't have to.
Mhm.
And then you don't have to stay there. I mean,
I think
second
we're
of all,
afraid to change directions because again we are like, but everyone knows. What if I now change? What are they going to think? They don't care.
yeah, I
Sorry,
mean,
they
there
don't
have been
care.
a, well,
No
even
one
if they
cares.
do care, so what? Even if
Yeah.
they care, so what? Because like on my channel, I've tried several different things that people, well, they either liked it or they loved it. It's none of my business how they felt about it. But because people always have something to say, and I welcome the comments. However, that doesn't mean I have to dictate what feels right to me or not feel right to me based on their feedback, right? I appreciate them and I appreciate the feedback, but there have been some things that in my mind were a brilliant idea. But then when I actually did them, I'm like, oh, that was horrible. That was bullshit. I don't
Oh,
ever want to do that again.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
like you get an idea and you're like, everything is so aligned, and then you do it and you're like, I don't want to do this. Like
No.
this is for someone else. This is not what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah. No, I
And
don't
then
want
you're
to do that.
just launched. What am I going to now do? Like I just put it out there.
Yeah.
Everyone is seeing that I put it out there. Now I'm going to take it out.
Yeah.
Take it out.
It is what it is. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so this takes me back to that same book and the Big Magic book. In that, she talks about how sometimes in life to find your true purpose, you have to just pull strings. Like imagine a big ball of yarn or something, you're just pulling strings. She said she bought this big house with her money from Eat, Pray, Love. She bought like a big farmhouse. And so she decided she's going to plant a garden for the first time in her life because she has all this land. And so she's like, I don't know anything about gardening. So she bought like some books on gardening and seeds. She goes, and then like I just had this little spark in my mind of like, how did people know all these seeds? And like if these originated like around the world, how did seeds get here? How did people used to get these things? She's like, so I went and looked up a little something, and it turns out like there was this whole world on like botanical trade, and like people would go on ships across the world to bring back these rare exotic plants and vegetables that you could grow. And like it was this whole thing. She said, and then I started checking more into that and I wanted to know all about this history of botany. And then wham, I was downloaded this novel on a girl who grows up in a family who does this, and her father goes on the ships, and like she's in a world of like gardens and greenhouses and blah blah blah, and like set in that time period. And she goes, I would have never gotten that idea or appreciated that idea had I not just gone from, she goes, but it all stemmed because I did this, which led me to an interest in this, and I let that go. And then I had an interest in this from that, and I let that go. And she goes, one thing leads to another thing until you finally arrive where you're supposed to be. But
I
you
call
have, each one of those steps is necessary.
I call that the pull. When there's something that's pulling you, whether it's logical or not, like whether it's like botanical,
Yeah.
books, whatever, if there is a pull, it's there for a reason. There is something there for you. Either
Yes.
it's like purpose is there or it's a stepping stone to something else. There is a nugget there for something and you need to follow it. Because
Yeah.
if you feel like this thing is calling me so bad, there's something.
Yes.
And that's what I've been doing. That's why you say I'm courageous, because I'm kind of like bouncing like a flipper ball
Like a little hummingbird.
to, find the pull, which
Well,
I
the
think
thing is, I'm naturally curious. I'm a naturally curious person. I want to know everything about everything. I want to know how machines work, and I want to know how computers work, and I want to know how you work, and I want to know how your brain works, and I want to know about your mom's grandma's sister and like what they went through. Like, I'm so curious about everything. And people used to label that as nosy, not just on me, but like people like me, and I mean, maybe, but I think that they're dismissing or downplaying a divine part of me that was put in, which is just natural curiosity, which leads me to explore and to not be so afraid to try new things or to dive into spirituality or to do things that will benefit my life. And it's led me to meet important people. It's led me to meet fascinating people, even if I never see them again. I just think that it's a gift to have that natural curiosity, and you really honor yourself and God when you follow it.
There's actually in Akashic Records, I don't remember what were your masteries, soul masteries, but there's actually a soul mastery called Exploration Master, which tends to be, not always, but it can be also someone who is here to also explore different things.
I know that. I don't think that was I remember you saying Dream Master, which I always wanted to know what that means, or more of that. Jay, do you remember anything about yours?
Energy was one of them.
Energy Master.
Yeah. Can you have more than one?
You can have more than one. You can just have one. It depends.
Trying to see if I have notes in here. I think they're on my computer.
I have the recording on my phone. I listen to it every now and again. It's been
I have the recording and I have notes that I took from it, but they're not on my phone. So I remember that I was like writing and communication, dream work, and working with energy, like Energy Master. Yeah. So I've always wanted to learn more about those. I keep telling him that like we need to practice like telekinesis or moving things. He's like, no way. I'd probably be up to no good with it. I don't want to get good at that.
I don't want that negative karma. I would mess with too many people if I could start moving things like that. I know me, and we're not doing this.
Yeah, you're a prankster. So anyways, we kind of got off topic of your love and soulmate thing, but it's still been a fun conversation. Yeah.
So just like we're following the pool,
We're following the pool. That's right. And I think that's what's so important. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast is which a lot of people didn't understand and don't appreciate. And that's okay. They want me sitting.
That's great. Like I was like, oh, she's having a podcast. That's amazing. Because I always like that. That's something that you could like really.
Well, because whenever he and I would talk on the phone, this is how it would be. We would follow the poll. You know what I mean? Like it would just be like this topic to that topic to that. And we would have these massive, interesting conversations. And I would always go, this whole thing could have been a podcast. Yeah. And so we eventually started one. And I just wanted it to be like a version of our conversations where it's like you're just sitting around the living room with your friends talking about spirituality, and like it weaves in and out, and somebody brings up something else and somebody brings up something else, and you end up 20 miles away from where you started, but it's all been so interesting. And that's what I love about it. And some people
to start somewhere and then just go off topic wherever.
Some people are starting to get it and they like it and they listen to every one of them, and other people are just like, when are you going to do your normal videos again? And I'm like, I still do them. It's just this is something else to add in. Yeah.
I love that your guys' podcast is so, I mean this lovingly, it's so all over the place. Like one day there's like stuff about numerology, and then there's like Bigfoot. But that's amazing because it's that's the way that I am as well. Like I'm so interested in this, and then I'm so interested in that, and like, I want to know everything about everything.
I'm curious about everything.
About everything, but I want to know about,
right.
Here
exactly.
And there.
On my videos, I can see like the rating on them, how many people gave a thumbs up versus thumbs down. And most of mine are usually 100% thumbs up. But like on the Bigfoot one, I only got like a 60%, 68% like thumbs up. People were like, we don't want that shit. And I'm like,
here's where we draw the line.
Here's where we draw the line. And when we talked on Halloween about like spooky stuff and ghosts and whatnot, another like people were like, we don't like that shit. And I'm like, well, I don't talk about it all the time, but it's nice to mix it up sometimes, or they're going to have fun pretty soon. Cause There's some spooky stuff coming up that's like top secret.
I'm dragging her to do
like,
stuff she doesn't like.
If you have Bigfoot or spooky stuff in the title, you don't have to watch it.
You don't have to watch it. Exactly. And like every season, I ask him, I'm like, are you down to do another season? Are you still wanting to do this? And he's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, okay. Like I always give him an out.
Part of
like,
me, well, part of me, I learn a lot from the different conversations, or as we bring in people, there's information I didn't know existed, or as I'm listening to these conversations like today, it's hitting different feelings in me, and it's identifying things that I need to look at or I never thought about. The other part is it's the same as our conversations prior to the podcast. It's just continuations of, we're weaving around, talking about different things, trying out different ideas, and it stimulates more thoughts.
I love that. Yeah. And you know what? For this week or two, we might be like heavy on this topic and we're doing experiments and we're trying different things. And then like that falls by the wayside because something new and shiny shows up and we're like, let's talk about this. And basically you're just getting to be a voyeur into our friendship. And not everybody out there has friends like this. That's another reason I wanted to do it, is because people who don't have that support system, people don't have friends to talk about with this kind of stuff. I wanted you to feel like you're in the conversation and like you're hanging out with us. And that's also why we started like a voicemail and a texting and stuff. So like you can shoot us messages, you can leave us feedback. Not as many people take advantage of that as I thought would. I imagined a lot more people would. I don't know if they're just afraid or I don't know. But yeah, if you have any thoughts or feedback or something funny that happened to you, something interesting that happened to you spiritually, like send us a voicemail, send us a text message.
I think it's amazing you guys are doing this because I have also I've met so many people who are like, I'm the only one who's awakened. I'm the only one who
and you're not.
Who am I going to talk about this stuff with?
Right. Yeah, you're
and
not.
And then the world is so filled with different type of, experts who go very deep on one subject. But what if you want to know about everything? Where do you go?
There were a couple times that Spomi had this conversation with me because like I started feeling like, well, I've already taught about the basics. Should I be going deeper and like more philosophical? Like, are people going to get bored? And he's like, no, you are not to do that. Your job is to stay basic, bitch. No, your job is to stay basic. Your job is to teach the people who are either newly coming in and awakening or are curious and want to know about all the things. Your job is to stay where you are. And I'm like, okay, then I will. So
and then there are people whose job is to be on that one level and go deeper.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I think they're very needed. So
they're both very needed. Yes.
Keep on coming with all the seasons and all the things and
Thank you. Yeah. And so are you doing coaching or do you have a program now or a course or anything like that on this topic?
Well, I do coachings, but if you go to my website now, it used to be like I'm offering these and these and these services, but nowadays it's all customized because I feel like everyone is so unique and I want to support everyone's own journey, that if you work with me one-on-one, it's always customized. So it's always starting with a call to make sure that first of all we resonate and then figure out what would be like, if it's a reading, if it's a reading plus coaching, if it's just coaching, whatever it needs to be. But in the love topic, I haven't officially launched it yet, but it's already there on my website. And when this video comes out, it's probably officially also launched.
Probably about a month, 6 weeks.
Yeah,
5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah. So it's I'm calling it Love Letters. So it's for anyone who feels like they need to believe again. If you feel
Sign me up.
Yeah, if you feel like you are not believing, but you want to believe that there is true love out there, then it's an It's a very, private 11-week journey with me, just me delivering stuff into your inbox, but very transformational. Like, my mission is that whenever someone is through the 11 weeks, they never doubt again.
Oh, that's great.
I don't promise you that you are going to meet your soulmate or your romantic soulmate in 11 weeks, but I do make my mission to make you believe that you have one. So you don't do what I did. Settle.
Love that. Love that. Now, I know over the last few years, you've offered a few times for me to do some kind of a course or something with you. Or I don't remember what it was. It was part of a program. Anyways, I want to apologize to you because I never got back to you. I always said, let me think about it. I'm so scatterbrained and busy all the time that like 18 months will go by and I'll be like, oh my God, I never got back to her. So anyways, I want to tell you, thank you.
I had an Akashic reading course, so I taught people how to read the Akash.
I think you taught Lisa,
professional.
My member Lisa.
Yeah, is one of my top students. I love her.
I heard she's good.
Yeah, she's amazing. But yeah, I had that going on for a couple of rounds, but I'm not officially doing that anymore. If someone asks, I can do it privately, but I'm not doing group enrollments anymore because that's kind of like, again, I was doing that, but I'm moving on to something else. So yeah. And that's why I'm customizable. Let's see what you need. Let's see if I'm like the right person to do that. I also know my teacher is still doing Akashic Records course, and I think she's doing it more actively. So I would maybe even rather
refer people to her.
And she is also referred in our first ever Akashic video together. So
yeah,
I think
that's right.
It's still the same.
Yeah, because when you did my reading, you hadn't graduated yet.
No, I was just about to, because you were one of my practice clients that I needed to meet, to an Akashic Record.
I was so honored that you chose me. And some of it, let me tell you, is still so fantastical that like I have trouble believing it. But when I asked Spomi about it, he's like, yes. And I'm like, my first lifetime was a unicorn? What? It's crazy to me. But he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, help me open my mind to that stuff because it's so amazing. Teach me more. I haven't gotten anything more on it yet, but like, life is young. It'll happen. Anyways, I appreciate you. You're fascinating to me. I adore you.
Thank you. I love you both. I think you are doing great, and I really hope you are going to continue, because this has been it's for me, it has been so wonderful to be your guest, but it's also wonderful to see you go explore different things.
Yeah, well, you know what? Come back anytime. Love you so much. And I wish you luck with this. And if you need anything, don't ever hesitate to ask.
And remember to write.
I already forgot. So thank you for the reminder. Yes, I need to remember.
I'm going to get on to you. Let's get the prologue going. Or whatever, the introduction.
Write a chapter.
If you want to record another episode, I need a chapter.
500.
It could be crap. But we need it. And that one chapter
that could get dangerous. That could get dangerous. You start being all dominant over me, and I'm going to be like, yes, daddy. And then you'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Like, whoa, 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 eat this Burger King. She doesn't know. That's probably for the best.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Like, don't be writing checks your ass won't cash, because I'm going to be like.
I already got a pile of goodies upstairs for you. It's, my dowsing rods, I got a bunch of stuff.
EMF meter and dowsing. I wanted to see if when I'm feeling things clairsentiently so strongly, does that pick up on the meter?
I'm hoping, because, it's a running joke. And actually this season, I probably haven't done that bit about your feelings and mine. But when I have had the experiences in places where I will feel off and there's an energy there, I have pulled out that meter, and it confirms that, at least scientifically, there's some sort of current free floating. And so if it triggers for you, that may solidify or validate in me that, oh, although limited, my clairsentience is awake. Then that's what that feeling has been this whole time.
I don't even think you need the external validation. I think that like you feel, because there's sometimes where I ask spirit something and I'm like, they said no, and you're like, I just gotta know too. Like you feel things.
Well, yeah, you just call me Thomas the Doubter. I have my moments.
Okay, doubting Thomas. Sorry we drug you along on this. We'll let you go.
I'm entertained.
Yeah.
Not hang out. I appreciate you guys. I mean, you're a part of my early journey in that Akashic reading. It was very illuminating, and kind of like with Veronica, I was like, some of the stuff you're saying, I'm like, is this real? What is this? And then, and over time, I've had the different experiences, and it's helped me to accept it. It's helped me to stop thinking I'm fully crazy when I'm experiencing certain things. And it's okay. That really was a voice talking to me in my room. I'm not nuts, and that kind of thing. So I appreciate you. I really do.
I thought about you the other day too, because I was looking at my house and I remember thinking, I love how I was thinking about painting the walls. And I'm like, I like them lighter. I love how expansive and open it feels in here. I need places that feel expansive. And I heard you talk. Yes. And I heard you talking about Spica and how.
Because I've used that example for so many, like what, not your life, but what I saw in your life.
Yeah.
For so many people, I've taught about Spica.
Because that's the only time I had ever heard of it before. That I'd never heard of it. So. And you're like, it's all about like expansive, open, needing space. And you saw Spomi as my spouse in that one, if I remember. Yeah. Yeah.
And
so
I hadn't done many readings, as you know, because you were all practice clients. And I remember the feeling when I went into that life, because my clairvoyance wasn't that awakened then. It's still not my main. Like my main is clairaudience, and then clairaudience, and then clairvoyance. But still, I felt like, and I remember what I saw and all the colors, and still I'm thinking about it like every now and then, because it was.
I wish I could see what you saw. So cool.
What? Yeah, look at that.
No.
That's what I usually say to her.
Did we lose you?
Oh, did she freeze?
Oh, come back.
She was the one that solidified it for me, because I always thought clairaudience was my dominant. And in her reading, she's like, no, it's clairvoyance. And, later on as I go through things, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, now I can see it. But at the time, hearing to me was way more impressive than seeing, because, it could be my imaginations. Maybe I started dreaming. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think we lost her.
I think we lost her. Bummer. I hope she signs out and comes back. But
may work itself out. Emma keeps peeking down here at me going.
So for those who don't know, what we're referring to is she was talking about my starseed origins. And she said that one of my primary ones, she shows Arcturian and like the normal ones that I already knew about, but she said my primary one was from Spica, Spica. And she said Spican star seeds are one of the most rare kind, and they I don't remember all the details about it. I'll have to look them up. But anyways, she saw me in this Spican lifetime, and she said Spica is about wide open spaces, wide, like huge houses with huge ceilings. Everything is like lots of glass, like indoor, outdoor
palaces, castles.
I come by it naturally. But so she said that like in that lifetime you can fly, kind of like, a pixie or a fairy, or you can fly. You have a humanoid form, but you can fly. And she's like, so you need room even in your house. Like if you want to fly around, you need space. And she goes, so do you find yourself in this lifetime needing, like, I need space, I need big rooms, I need big house, I need to feel expansive? And I'm like, yes, always, I do. And so that resonated. But anyways, I guess she's gone. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Jay, thanks for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure.
This was very very illuminating, and I appreciate both of you and love hanging out.
Yeah. So if any of you guys have any feedback, any thoughts, please leave a comment. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. It means the world. It might not mean a lot to you, but it means a lot to me, and it's free. So like, why not?
And
And
check out Yasmine's site. She is
yeah,
very insightful.
yes, she is. And I will leave all of her details in the description. And if you're somebody who is a subscriber and you want to come on, you have something cool to share, you have things you want to talk about, we welcome you. So like, please reach out. All right, you guys, until next time.